From Puigcerdà, I was sent to Barcelona. In Barcelona, I hear speaking German, Italian, Czech. I said, what are you doing here? I knew what you're doing here. We came to fight for Spain. Like I said, it wasn't organized. It was spontaneously. People come from all over. And we organize ourselves. I belong to the Sebastian IV column in the army of Durruti. Durruti was a legendary revolutionary who had been condemned to death in the United States, in Spain, and in France for his activity. And of course, when came the Spanish Civil War, he came to Spain, and he was directing an attack against a quartel, a barracks we saw there. He said, listen, we are many, and there are not enough people to kill all of us. If we rush against this fortress, military fortress, we will take it. We lost a lot of people, and unfortunately, Durruti has been killed by a bullet. Until now, we don't know where it went. Anyhow, we were sent in Aragon. In Aragon, we had the same process of liberation and the anarchist organization. It looked impossible because all of us, we are brainwashed since we are born by the capitalist system that the money is the only value. No, the money is not a value. The value is human being, the value. And there is no reason. I am maybe Don Quixote, I am maybe a dreamer. I cannot see a poor kid hungry on the street. I cannot see a homeless on the street. And I cannot accept that here, the richest country in the world, we have 1 million homeless. It's unbelievable. And 3 million people behind the bars in the prison. We have a high percentage of unemployed people. We don't do anything here. Ford Motor, General Motor, all that is finished. We buy in other countries where the labor is cheap. China actually has more dollars than we have. But we have to understand that in between the Civil War, Spanish Civil War, and actually now a lot of things happened, and the capitalists took over. They were finding places where they were paying $1 per day work, $1 per day. And little by little, the American worker remained unstable. The socialism, the communism, who was a hope of the worker, collapsed with the Soviet Union. And so the proletariat is completely abandoned, completely orphaned. Here in the United States, we have 10 or 7% of people, workers, belonging to the union. Meanwhile, in Europe, in Spain, they're at 70, 80, 90%. If something happened, they declare a strike and they paralyze all the country. Here, the workers are completely abandoned. Anyhow, when we were fighting in Spain, and like I said, Franco was taking one town after the next. He was close to Madrid, and he was 10 or 15 miles from Madrid. And he said, telephone at that time, they didn't have fax or email. The next Sunday, I will have a dinner in that restaurant. It was the more expensive restaurant in Madrid, because I will be there. It was easy because he was going one town after the next. The Spanish with guns, without instruction, without real ideal, were too weak to face the mercenary army of Franco. They sent us, the International Brigade, at the end of 1936, beginning of 1937. And we stayed. In the first month, 70% of the international have been killed or wounded, but we stayed there. Some of us never had a gun, never had shot. I will tell you my own experience. They gave me a gun, 100 bullets, and they said, okay, come over there and shoot at a piece of paper, a stone, whatsoever that you're in training. And three bullets, we cannot waste more. That was my military instruction. But like the Spanish said, you need not only, the gun is not shooting by itself. You need to push the finger, and the finger, you need cojones, you need balls. And that's exactly. We had something, this ideal and this anger, that they were stealing our ideal. Franco was destroying the most beautiful thing that we had. And unfortunately, if it weren't for the capitalist world and the coward Democrat who didn't help us, we could have won the war. But Hitler and Mussolini were sending soldiers to Spain. United States General Motors and Ford Motor were sending 5,000 trucks in credit line, but nobody wanted to get involved. Roosevelt, who in my opinion was one of the best presidents we ever had, only before he died recognized that the biggest blunder of his administration was not to help the Spanish Republic. Because if the democracy hadn't been covered, France, England, United States, we could have avoided World War II, where 56 million human beings have been killed. Destruction, the shame of the Holocaust, racism, all that has been that the democracy are mainly guilty, I feel, because as now, also we have the Democrats who don't do anything. We said the war in Iraq, which is not a war, it's a war of imperialism. We will maybe retrieve the soldier at the end of 2008. And we, veterans of the war, we go on the street with posters saying, bring the troop now. And so we are again abandoned, completely abandoned, like it was before the World War II.